Shalom, beloved. Barakatham. I have an update concerning my health. Shalom, beloved Malak. GMS in the Truth, Orlando. Barakatham. Yeah, I was just watching a video where an individual that was rebuked called the brothers dick grabbers for standing up for truth's sake. And if you all watched my video that I did about 6 days ago, guess what? No names were mentioned. So if you get offended by a rebuke video, you are the devil that the Bible speaks of. Notice no names was mentioned when I did my rebuke video. I stuck with the doctrine and spoke out against deviating from the doctrine. So if you got angry by that, you've just been marked. The brothers are not dick grabbers. You are a little boy if you can't understand this doctrine. You're not ready. You're going to learn today. You're going to learn today. How many remember that video Elder Apostle Tahar did, saying that the Edomites bowed down to the apostles' feet? All these simps ate the cheese. The apostles are going off. They're false leaders. They're false prophets. It was a ruse. Wisdom is too high for a fool. If you're a little boy and you pick up this Bible, you're going to hurt yourself. If you play with fire, you're likely to get burned, little boys. You stepped on a landmine. Boom! Okay? You stepped on a landmine. Dum-dum. Let's go. First of all, I'd like to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Halayim Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem or Kwat Kadosh. All praises be to the Most High, Yahweh, in the name of His Son, and our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. Much respect and honor to the brothers that are doing the work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and freedom to do so. Pushing this gospel throughout the four corners of the earth. Salutations to the hopeful elect that is scattered abroad, and double honor and respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Or am I a dick grabber or jerker? All you reprobates are going to be destroyed. And you false prophets out there, black-only Israelites, your black ass is going to be turned into cocoa powder dust, beat to powder. You're being identified in these last days. I'm doing a vague rebuke video, and you come up on there, he talking about me. He talking about me. He's talking about me. You are the devil that the Bible speaks of. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you, little boy. You dealing with fire. If you play with fire, you're likely to get burned, little boy. He's going to do another one. He's talking about me. It must be me. Oh my God. It must be me. Let's go here to Malachi 3. Malachi 3, verse 16. Go to 15. And now we call the proud happy, yea, they that work wickedness are set up, yea, they that tempt the Most High are even delivered. Then they that fear the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that fear the Lord and that thought upon his name. So we're calling into remembrance the words of these prophecies, the holy book, deliverance for the Lord's faithful city, the city of David, the hopeful elect. So the hopeful elect are written in the book of life, the promises connected to Bible prophecy, new bodies, immortality, deliverance. Malachi 3, verse 16. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spared his own son that serveth him. The sons of God, Yasha Allah, he is a prince of the power. See, just like he spared his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. Verse 17. Let's go to 18. Now we can see who the wicked black ninjas are and chimpanzees in these last days. And they're still drinking the milk and trying to mix alcohol or strong drink and strong meat with the milk. Malachi 3, verse 18. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serve him not. You either serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai and honor the brotherhood, or you worship the devil that the Bible speaks of. There is no in-between with the Most High, with Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Shalom, beloved King, Ariyah Cha'ayah, Brother Zadok, Amram, House of David, and Cha'an Yahweh, Brother GMS in the Truth, Orlando. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things, like fighting against a video that don't even mention your name. You are a child, simple, not built up in the scriptures, maturity, not maturing like fine wine. See, the Holy Spirit matures you into a vintage wine, fit for the master's use. That probably went over a simp's head. So we are a child in humility, but in sincerity and truth, we are made wise through the gift of the Holy Spirit. That's beautiful. Malachi 3, verse 18 again. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. Now, let me show some pictures. So wisdom is too high for a fool. We're not black. Somebody post Isaiah 25 and 7, please. Isaiah 25 and 7. So this truth shows you who the chimpanzees are. Orangutans, black panthers, unclean creatures, brute beasts made to be taken and destroyed. I'm getting ready to show some pictures. Brother GMS in the Truth, Orlando. 2 Timothy 2, verse 20. But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but also of wood and of earth, and some to honor and some to dishonor. So you're in the bed with the vessels of dishonor, fitted for destruction. See, did not the Most High make a vessel of honor, fitted for mercy, made for mercy and deliverance? And what else? A vessel of wrath, fitted to destruction. So you are in bed with the beast. And are going to be destroyed by fire. So you're not going to stand up to fire, which starts with rebuke by the word, likened unto a fire. Let's read this one. Brother GMS in the Truth, Orlando, 2 Timothy 2, verse 21. Go back to 20. But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, the elect of Israel, but also of wood and of earth, earthen vessels, vessels that are going to be used in the Lord's sacrifice, burned, and some to honor and some to dishonor. The fine silver and gold tried in the fiery trial of adversity, elect, are going to be honored and delivered. 2 Timothy 2, verse 21. If a man, therefore, purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified, and meet for the master's use, and prepared unto every good work, made perfect through the sanctification by the Spirit of truth, cleaned up and becoming a new creature, holy, acceptable in the sight of the Lord, where our offerings are acceptable sacrifices. Now, let's go to the pictures. For you simps out there, is he an Israelite? This is Blake Griffin. This truth is bigger than black or white. Black means sinister, dark, evil, wicked. So Blake Griffin is an Israelite. He's not white. Is it white? All you black-only Israelites are reprobates. You have an APB that's being sent out for you, an all-points bulletin for being stupid. You have a warrant out for your arrest. 1681, and Elder Malcolm goes into this. Let's get this one first. Shalom, beloved King, Judah Yasharallah. Proverbs 17 and 24. Wisdom is before him that have understanding, but the eyes of a fool are in the ends of the earth. So we got chimpanzees and simps in the ends of the earth. Right here in the Garden of Babylon. They're going to be boiled to a hot, fiery boil. Okay? Chimpanzee shoulders, buckwheat bristles, okay? And wings, swine feet, built for destruction. Let's go more into that pot. Same chapter, Proverbs 17. So wisdom is too high for a black ninja or a simp. I'm just telling you, don't get offended. If that's you, it's not for you. Watch somebody come up. He was talking about me. My rebuke video, I never mentioned any names. And this chimpanzee jumped up. It's about me. It's about me. See, let's go here. Proverbs 17, verse 3. The fining pot is for silver. The what? The fining pot is for silver and the furnace of gold. So the elect, you cannot destroy real gold or silver. the Lord's elect. So we can take the rebuke, the fiery trial of adversity. Lord willing, I'm amongst that number. See that? Let's read that again. Somebody get Ezekiel 24. For the chimpanzees, orangutans, the brute beasts that are made to be taken and destroyed. The simps with dry lips that can't close, and dry, ashy elbows and knees. Proverbs 17, verse 3. The fining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold. But the Lord trieth the hearts. A wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue. Calling us black is false, naughty, corrupt communication, sinister, wicked, bad. Brother Andre serving in Habashai. Tobit 13, verse 3. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them. So we are scattered. Listen carefully, brute beasts. We are scattered among the nations. So we are a hidden people. Somebody get that? In Lamentations 4, I think it's verse 8 or 10. And Psalms 83. So wisdom is too high for brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed. That's Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs starting quarterback. Is he black? Is he a black Hebrew Israelite? What about his son? What happens if his son plants his seed, which means his sperm, for you simps, into a so-called white woman? Does that make him a black Hebrew Israelite? All you dumbasses are having a spotlight shown unto you. The beloved elder and king, Judah Israel. Proverbs 16 and 4. A scorner seeketh not wisdom, and findeth it not. But knowledge is easy unto him that understand. So the Holy Spirit makes this an easy doctrine. It's music to our ears. Why you think this doctrine is compared to what? Sing unto the Lord a new song. But simps are sweating bullets and having anxiety attacks, heart conditions, going into cardiac arrest, and fighting against the scriptures. But your arms are too short to box with the Most High. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Brother GMS in the Truth, Orlando. Proverbs 24, verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate. So you're supposed to be quiet if you're a chimpanzee, a brute beast, a black panther. You're supposed to be quiet. And if we are going to communicate with you, have you ever seen a gorilla doing this stuff here? We can't use the scriptures to communicate with a brute beast. He's not going to get it. You're wasting your time. He's still going to call us black. Somebody post 1 Corinthians 12 and 2. Ephesians 2 and 11. And 1 Corinthians 12 and 2. So wisdom is too high for an idiot, a brute beast made to be taken and destroyed. Lord willing, I'm amongst that number. I want the 2/3 Israelites, the chimps, the orangutans, the gorillas that despise this word and trust in oppression. What is that? The covering cast, the veil that is spread over all people. Let's get that. Now, I wish I had somebody to translate for the brute beast, but I don't have that because it's not for them. taken and destroyed. Brother Bayan Yasharala Shalom Barakatah. Brother Judah Israel, Jeremiah 31, verse 10. Hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Israel shall gather him and keep him as a shepherd doth his flock. So a remnant of the elect are going to be preserved. We're scattered among all nations. Hear that, brute beast, chimpanzees? We are scattered among all nations. See? I know you're not going to get it. So why are you listening to the videos? Brother Bayan Yasharala, 1 Corinthians 12, verse 2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led. So what does that mean? The idols polluted us. We became defiled by the Gentiles, not busting off in their women. That's retarded. We were defiled by idols. You see? Let's just prove that. No chimpanzee should be listening to our videos. I'm just telling you, don't get mad. Don't take it personal. I didn't make you that way. The Lord did it. See? Let's go here. Where is that at? It's in Ezekiel 23. If you don't know the Bible, put a pacifier in your mouth or a milk bottle. I mean, this is ridiculous. Ezekiel 23, verse 29. And they shall deal with thee hatefully, and shall take away all thy labor, and shall leave thee naked and bare, and the nakedness of thy whoredoms shall be discovered, both thy lewdness and thy whoredoms. Thy lewdness and thy whoredoms. Spiritual fornication. That's how we were defiled. Why you think the Most High said, I am married unto you. Return unto me, O house of Israel. All you brute beasts out there fighting against these scriptures, you're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die. Ezekiel 23, verse 29. And they shall deal with thee hatefully, and shall take away all thy labor, and shall leave thee naked and bare, and the nakedness of thy whoredoms shall be discovered, both thy lewdness and thy whoredoms. So what is a harlot? A prostitute. She has no integrity. If the price is right, she'll do whatever you want. There are no lines of standards. You see that? So we became harlots, like the daughter of Babylon. Any and everything goes. You can pop a little boy. You can have sex with a mannequin, a robot, a rubber doll. See? So it's mixed into a ritual. No standards. The Bible gives us a what? A standard. So we begin to participate in demonic rituals by worshiping and doing rituals unto the gods of the other nations. See? Ezekiel 23, verse 30. I will do these things unto thee, because thou hast gone a whoring after the heathen, and because thou art polluted with their idols. This is a spiritual infraction, fornication, adultery. And if you can't get it, you're going to be burned here in the mother of harlots, America, the daughter of Babylon, where anything goes. You can worship a god with dreadlocks and wearing a stinky diaper and smoking a cigar. There are no rules, no standards. If the price is right, a brother that's not in the truth will turn against the brotherhood. He is a harlot, no integrity, no character. You see, no intestinal fortitude. So if you will stand for, what's that saying? If you will accept anything, you will stand for nothing. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? And who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? So harlots are rebels. They have no standard. Long as it feels good, they'll teach it. Long as they can fill their own bellies and get a check, a paycheck, they'll teach it. If they can get women and coochie because they were rejected in high school for being a chimpanzee. So they're using the truth as a vehicle to get what they got deprived of. They are deprived souls, harlots, unfaithful, no integrity, no character. The beloved elder, Judah Israel, Ezekiel 36, verse 18. Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for their idols, and what? And for their idols, wherewith they had polluted it. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries, according to their way, and according to their doings, I judged them. They were dispersed. I'm sorry I don't have a translator for you brute beasts, but just turn off the video. So we look like the heathen. What happens when this young baby, if it's a boy, plants a seed into a heathen woman? Stop judging by appearance. So we were Gentiles because of the idols. We became unclean by conducting idolatry. We began to worship the gods of the other nations where we were dispersed. Let's go here. Brother Andre serving Yahushua, Baruch 4, verse 6. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath. Ye were delivered unto the enemies, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto idols, and not to the Most High. Beautiful. So we became defiled, harlots, whores, in layman's terms, polluted because of our rebellion and idolatry. I mean, this is not hard, but if you don't have the Holy Spirit, you're going to be thinking that we had sex with a Buddha doll. Okay? It's deeper than that. It's worshiping and giving reverence to these idols, giving our heart and soul or our mind over to the other gods. Whoring after other gods, worshiping them. Same brother, Baruch 4, verse 8. Ye have forgotten the everlasting God that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. The motherland is Jerusalem, not Africa, you black identity extremists, bug outs. This truth is not for the simple. It's for the hopeful elect that are being sifted out and preserved from the simple. Let's go here to Proverbs 1. Shalom, beloved king, fisher turned hunter. Kohalayim like how about Shem Yahushua, Barakatah. Let's go here. We're going to go to Hosea. You already know where I'm going. We still got people that want to push black identity extremists. They're bugged out. Bugged out. And they're trying to eat from our feast of charity. But these are spots in our feast of charity. Black spots. Tar babies. How many ever seen a tar baby that's been all tarred with feathers thrown on him? Those were the 2/3 that got that judgment back in the old days. That was the Lord putting tar over your black ass. Now you're reincarnated, trying to push the same madness and nonsense. Those were the tar babies back then. Dumb as hell. Let's get this one. The beloved brother Judah Israel. 2 Chronicles 34, verse 21. Go inquire of the Lord for me and for them that are left in Israel and in Judah concerning the words of the book that is found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is poured out upon us, because our fathers have not kept the word of the Lord to do after all that is written in this book. So this book says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt only worship the Lord thy God and not take his name in vain. So you can never accuse a brother of breaking the law unless it goes back to the good book. Like having a strong drink. So there is no sin except the law had established that infraction or that transgression. So we broke the holy covenant. We became polluted with this idolatry, with the ways of the heathen, where we were not recognized as the Lord's people. So that's got to hit heavy. So we put on the garments of the other nations. And for you simps, that's not talking about putting on a physical garment. We became clothed with iniquity. And this is ridiculous. Let's go to Isaiah 30. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover, that what? That cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So these are the simps that are putting on the ways of the heathen nations, worshiping Eve's bloody coochie, worshiping Jeebus cross. Jeebus! You're going to die. You're going to die. Worshiping a fat man with donut rolls in his belly, with a damn tongue ring and a bone sticking out of his nose, wearing dreadlocks. You're going to die. It's talking about covering with iniquity, being covered with iniquity for you simps. Okay? I know this is hard, but I'm tired of reprobates that's trying to pick up this sword. You play with fire, you're likely to get burned. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So we are covered with our transgression, so to speak. Iniquity, filth. So we became what? Not a people outside of the Lord's holy courtyard, a holy temple. We became castaways, temporarily though. And this comment board is on fire. Shalom, beloved brother, arrows of indignation. Let's read that. Jeremiah 3:11. And the Lord said unto me, the backsliding Israel have justified herself more than the treacherous Judah. Go and proclaim these words towards the north and say, return, thou backsliding Israel. You can only return to something that you were a part of. Repent. That's only speaking to Israel. Return, thou backsliding Israel, saith the Lord, and I will cause mine anger to fall upon you. I will not, let's read it again, return unto me. Return, thou backsliding Israel, saith the Lord, and I will not cause mine anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful, saith the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever. Only acknowledge thine iniquity that thou hast, it got cut off, hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, saith the Lord. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you, one of a city, and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. So the Lord is going to have mercy on his people, and the strangers shall be joined unto them. Israelite foreigners, calling themselves Russian, Arabic, Asian, African. See, this is not that deep. And strangers shall be joined unto them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Israelites that's been scattered into all nations. If you can't get it, then quit it. I mean, this is getting to be ridiculous. Bugged out. And then trying to teach. Brother Judah, Israel, Nahum 1:6. Who can stand before his indignation? Who can abide in the fierceness of his anger? His fury is poured out like fire, and the rocks are thrown down by him. So the enemies of the Lord are going to be beat to powder. Stop fighting against the spirit of the Lord's mouth. Rebuke. You're acting like your daddy Esau. He cried and wept when he heard his destiny. Prophecy when he heard the words of Isaac. And by thy sword shalt thou live, which was a curse in disguise. For he that liveth by the sword shall die by the sword. So you're taking on or going in the way of Cain. Cain was reincarnated as Esau. You got envy, wrath, and malice in your spirit. Bloodthirsty against your brothers, the brotherhood, for hearing the spirit of the Lord's mouth. The words of this Bible prophecy. This truth. All right, let's keep going. So there's no such thing as black Hebrew Israelites. Why you think they're shadow banning our videos? They're scared. Why you think the United Nations is holding a council and assembly? We got to do something about this truth. Let's call it misinformation. Let's call it hate speech. Let's call it conspiracy theories. See? Let's call them black Hebrew Israelites. Brother Judah, Israel, I love that brother. Jeremiah 5:3. O Lord, are not thine eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. Thou hast consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. They have made their faces harder than a rock. They have refused to return. That's when you know it's talking about Israel. Return unto me. Come back to the covenant of promise. It's not talking about everybody. Therefore I said, surely these are poor. They are foolish, for they know not the way of the Lord, nor the judgment of their God. So if every brother is rebuking you, or if this Bible convicts you, then that's the Spirit of the Lord doing that. You know not the way of judgment. Righteous indignation tied to what? A righteous anger. There is no judgment without an infraction of the law, which is the word. So judgment comes because of transgression of the word. Whoever died being innocent or where were the righteous cut off. So if you're being judged, there is an iniquity attached to it, an infraction, a transgression of the will of the Most High. Therefore, I said, surely these are poor. They are foolish, for they know not the way of the Lord, nor the judgment of their power. See? So if you're getting rebuked or set on fire, that's the judgment of the Lord. Fire starts with what? The word. And it's going to materialize or manifest into a physical nuclear holocaust on earth, starting with America, which means a burnt offering. Wicked goats, wicked rams, chimpanzees, swine are all going to be in the Lord's boiling pot. So you're going to be trying to figure this out while you're in the fire. You see? And you're going to lose. You're going to lose. I'm just telling you. Don't get emotional and start getting your panties in a wad. The truth hurts. Brother Judah, Israel, Jeremiah 8:7. Yea, the stork in the heaven knoweth her appointed times, and the turtle and the crane and the swallow observe the time of their coming. But my people, but what? But my people know not the judgment of the Lord. See, an ox, a dumb-ass ox, knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But a reject know not the ways of the Lord. You see, he's behind. You don't know when you're being chastised. Why did we go into slavery? Why were we put at the bottom with cave animals over us as our supervisors, our ministers, our politicians, governors, mayors? See, the Lord did it. Who did it? The Lord did it. See, wisdom is too high for a fool. Perfect timing. Why are we being compared? Rejects are being compared to two of the dumbest animals on earth. The Most High sees you as an animal. An animal. Brother Bayan Yasharala, Isaiah 1:3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider. So the Spirit of the Lord raised up the apostles. The Spirit of the Lord gave us this doctrine. The Spirit of the Lord is evoking the Holy Spirit of truth to resurrect the Israelites from the dry bones, the valley of the dead, pouring out water from the heavens, dropping down this doctrine as a dew, as a mist from heaven. This is not man-made. So if you're trying to get man-made glory, you're going off. Look at me. You're going off. The Lord is doing these things. This is not a man-made movement. This is a spiritual phenomenon. So if you're coming in here with carnal, fleshly, hitting agendas, it's off. Brother Beyond Yasharala, Isaiah 1, verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider. Beautiful. So the Lord is bigger than what we can see in the flesh. He hid us, made the other nations a covert unto Israel. So yes, we were scattered as a curse, but guess what? The Lord, Yahweh is the biggest chess player of all time. Of all time. So we're hidden. The earth shall help the woman. Does not the Bible say? The earth shall help the woman. So in the military, dispersal or dispersion is a military tactic and strategy. Dispersal or dispersion to do what? Increase survivability. That's a military tactic. Does not the Bible say the Lord is a man of war? So we were hidden under the other nations as a covert of protection and punishment, affliction. See, the Most High got two birds with one stone. So we are hidden, scattered among the nations. We are not known in the streets. Wisdom is too high for an orangutan. Let's go here. I saw it earlier. Brother Awaken, no, it's Brother Arrows of Indignation. Ezekiel 39, verse 23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. A transgression of the law. So we became not a people, unrecognizable. You see, castaways. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. Therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword, according to their uncleanness, and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. Not a people. So we became darkened in our countenance, because the glorious face of the Lord's shine was turned away from us. His face, this doctrine, his name, this word. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name. So he's going to deliver his elect for his name's sake. All you reprobate monkeys that keep saying the Lord's name don't matter, you're going down. Okay? You're not going to make it. His name does matter. We still got people coming on the comment board worshiping and praising Jeebus. May you and your family get wiped out from off the face of the earth. The way you treat a damn woman in the kingdom, you go into the fire, or your idol. Make a decision, concubine. Make a decision. I don't care how much makeup you're wearing, lipstick, eyeliner, your nails done. You see, you go into the fire or your idol. Make a decision. But see, the simp is going to let her decorate and build a shrine, candles and shit, all types of wicked wickedness going on. You see dust being blown, glitter, and idols all around the house. Well, it said it makes her feel comfortable. You and her got to go in the fire. That's the right mindset. Make a decision. Make a decision. That's a female. That's a female ock. Your ass got to go. All you simps are on borrowed time. Your time is almost up. Brother Andre serving Yahushua. Hosea 1, verse 9. Then said God, call his name La-o-Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. Not a people, castaways. So the Lord put darkness over us. We begin to grope in the noonday. Darkness, ignorance, bug out. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. No, we're just black. We're Negro. We're Afro-American. The scriptures say we are what our Father is, according to Numbers 1 and 18. We're not black. So what if their sons plant their seed into another heathen woman? And their sons. Why you think this doctrine is scaring the international cave makers, the global elite? They're scared. They know an exceeding great army is being raised up. And we got simps, low-level simps, trying to come against the doctrine. This is bigger than you. This is a world awakening. Ezekiel 37. And we got low-level simps coming against the doctrine. Let's go to Isaiah. Wisdom is too high for a fool, and a fool has said in his heart, there is no God, because he worships himself. When you understand that. Who gave us G-Buzz? G-Buzz. Who gave us that nigga? Who's extolling and exalting themselves, saying the Lord's name don't matter? The 2/3 Israelites. See? They're joined unto the synagogue of Satan. Isaiah 25, verse 6. And in this mountain shall the Lord of hosts make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wines on the lees, of fat things full of marrow, of wines on the lees well refined. So we are we are coming back to the full table of knowledge. The feast of the Lord. Isaiah 25, verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. Say what? He's destroying black, white, yellow. Those are not nationalities. Negro, Afro-American. What if I don't have an Afro? Am I still an Afro-American? That's retarded, okay? Let us reason together. Produce your cause. Bring forth your strong reason. The baby don't have an Afro. Is that baby an Afro-American? Or are you bugged out? Bugged out. there. So we are in shame. Confusion of face means shame. Perfect scripture, beloved King. Arrows of indignation. Jeremiah 3. Somebody get that in Daniel chapter 9. Confusion of face. It means shame, a reproach. Brother, arrows of indignation. Jeremiah 3, verse 25. Let us lie down in our shame and let our humiliation cover us. For we have sinned against the Lord of our God and our fathers from our youth, even to this day, and we have not obeyed the voice of our God. We're still rebelling. We're still trying to cling on to being black, Afro-American. See? So the Lord relegated us down to a low level. We lost our original estate as nobles, as kings, and we became servants, peasants, slaves. Brother Gabar Adama, Daniel 9, verse 8. O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. Idolatry, witchcraft, adultery, spiritual fornication. Daniel 9, verse 9. To the Lord our God belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. So we sinned against him, the Israelites, and became not a people, castaways, darkened, groping in the noonday, without light. What does that confusion of face mean? Shame. Let's go back. The brother, arrows of indignation. Jeremiah 3, verse 25. Let us lie down in our shame and let our humiliation cover us. For we have sinned against the Lord our God and our fathers from our youth, even to this day, and we have not obeyed the voice of our Lord. See? So we became reprobate. Brother, arrows of indignation. 1 Kings 8 and 47. If they take thought in the land where they have been taken captive, and repent and make supplication to you in the land of those who have taken them captive, saying, we have sinned and have committed iniquity and have acted wickedly. So the Lord covered us in our shame. We became as the heathen. Somebody post Ezekiel 20 and 32. Ezekiel 20 and 32. We became as the heathen. Shame, reproach, confusion, madness, sorrow of heart, which means mentally disturbed, bugged out. So we became like the heathen. For the sense as means not the backside of Eve. That's not as. As the heathen, likened to, compared to, or like the heathen. My goodness. I mean, this is getting to be ridiculous. Brother Sean, serving Yahushua. We need Ezekiel 20 and 32, please, sir. Daniel 9 and 14. Therefore, have the Lord watched upon the evil and brought it upon us. For the Lord our God is righteous in all his works, which he doeth, for we obeyed not his voice. So we became unclean beasts of the field, as the heathen, dogs, coyotes, foxes, swine. See? The heathen are considered unclean beasts of the field. Brother Bayan Yasharala, Ezekiel 20 and 32. Ezekiel 20 and 32. And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone, idolatrous, adulterous. See? I mean, this is not building a rocket or an airplane. It's building on we're building on the foundation of truth, the chief cornerstone, the same doctrine that our Lord and Savior taught, Yahushua. We're not trying to build a space force. Let's build a space force. Let's build a 6th military branch. No, it's not that complicated if you don't have the Holy Spirit. Brother Bayan Yasharala, Ezekiel 20 and 32. And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone. We became reprobate silver. See? Reprobate silver. Castaways. Unclean beasts, not fit to be an offering, to be a righteous sacrifice or offering. So we became a degenerate plant. I think that's Jeremiah 2 and 21. A degenerate plant, which connects back to the olive tree. The olive branches were cut off. So that tree in Romans 11 is talking about Israel. Let's close out there. I'm going to go to Romans 11. So how can you be grafted into a tree that you were never a part of? Just add some tape and a little bit of paper clips and some staples, and I can be grafted back in. No. Brother Bayan Yasharala and Andre serving Yahushua. I ran out of Scotch tape. We got to make this happen here. Jeremiah 2 and 21. Yet I had planted thee a noble vine, holy, a ripe seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me, strangers to the holy covenant of promise? We became strangers. And in America, strange fruit, because we were cut off. Does not the Bible say, cursed is he that hangeth from a tree? So we were a cursed fruit, castaways. So Yahushua had to die to take that curse from us, off of us, because we transgressed the law, statutes, and commandments. Why is that complicated? Because the zoo animals, brute beasts, cannot get it. Brother, arrows of indignation. Psalms 41, verse 4. As for me, I said, O Lord, be gracious to me. Heal my soul, for I have sinned against thee. So they knew, the other nations knew we were a cursed people. So they said, we offend not, because they sinned against the Lord. That's Jeremiah 50 or 51. Brother Shapab the 12, Galatians 3 and 16. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He saith not unto seeds as of many, but as of one, to thy seed, which is Hamashiach. So this is the royal bloodline of David, the holy seed, a physical bloodline made by the sperm of a man and conceived in the womb of women. A preserved royal holy bloodline. Why you think this genetic gene goes back to sperm, goes back to generation. Genetic toxins are in our foods to try to kill the noble bloodline. Israelites. Genetic toxins. Wake up. Brother Shapad the 12, Shalom Barakatah. Galatians 3:17. And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of God in Hamashiach, the law, which was 430 years after, cannot disannul that it should make the promise of none effect. So the promises started with Abraham, then Isaac, then Jacob. So this is a what? Sealed. You cannot destroy what the Most High has sealed or severed and separated for himself. He made the promises long before we became Israelites, which is heavy because the sons of God were in the beginning. Read Job 38, when the morning stars sang together. The sons of God in the fourth dimension, the third heaven. Does not Jeremiah 1 say, before I formed thee in the womb, I knew thee. You see? And sanctified thee a prophet, elect, sealed before the foundation of the world. This is not a low-level thing here. Go to Romans 11. We'll close out there. I mean, these simps they too much. You simps need to be quiet. Be quiet, please. My goodness. Romans 11. We'll close out here. Let's go to verse 21. For if God spared not the natural branches, take heed lest he also spare not thee. So a portion of Israel became cut off. These are Israelites. And the southern kingdom were proud, looking at the so-called Samaritans, castaways, putting themselves above the Most High's promises, begin to look down on those that look different, wearing togas, shaving their head, or dyeing their long hair, purple, yellow, green, red, orange. We became as the heathen, like the Greeks, like the Romans. So the southern kingdom were ostracizing or looking down on the Israelite foreigners. We're doing it today because they don't look like the traditional Israelite or the classical Israelite. That means we're walking in the flesh if we're doing that. Let's read this. Romans 11, verse 22. Behold, therefore, the goodness and severity of God on them which fail severity, but towards thee goodness, if thou continue in his goodness, otherwise thou also shall be cut off. So, cut off from what? The mercy, the promises of mercy. The covenants were made with Israel. The entire olive tree are Israelites, northern and southern kingdom. A noble vine. We read that in Jeremiah 2:21. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. For the Most High is able to graft them in again. Come back to the covenant that you were cut off from. Repent. So all Israelites, regardless of what we look like, can be grafted in through repentance and faith in the doctrine of Yahushua HaMashiach. So this is why we had to have a mediator, which is a bridge, Yahushua, to be a sacrificial lamb, to take on the curse, to get us a bridge back to the Father. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. For the Most High is able to graft them in again, if they believe in the doctrine and the sacrifice of Yahushua HaMashiach. They can be brought back into the olive tree. For if thou were cut out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and were grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted in to their own olive tree? Israelites. And so all Israel shall be saved. Say what? And so all Israel shall be saved. As it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. So we are purified through the word made flesh, because our righteousness is as filthy rags. We can't put ourselves above brothers that don't look like us. That makes you a dumbass. I'm just telling you, don't take it personal. If you were made to be a rock with lips, don't take it personal. But you can't judge by appearance, but by the Spirit that dwells within. So the Lord is gathering his elect. Look at this guy. Looks like an Edomite, his son. Now what if he busts off into a heathen woman? So you dudes that are in the flesh, you don't have it. I'm just telling you. You're dismissed, reprobates. Brother Andre serving in Yahushua. Sirach 11:2. Commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance. No, they don't look like Wesley Snipes, so they could not possibly be Israelites. All you rocks with lips need to be quiet. Brother Shapam of the 12. 1 John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits. No, look at their complexion or their hairstyles. So those that were cut off in those days during Paul's time were looking like the heathen. But they had to be shown what? Grace, mercy. Through what? The mercy seat, the Ark of the Covenant, which is Yahushua. So if you don't believe that Yahushua came in dark flesh, you're not in the truth. Or believe in the gospel of this ministry. Who have believed our report? Brother Shapad the 12. 1 John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world, amongst the world of Israel. and sowing seeds of confusion. A little leaven leavening the whole lump. So these lump heads are leavening the lump of the body of the gospel of Hamashiach Yahushua, the body of the brotherhood. They're leavening the brotherhood, spreading false doctrine, confusion, all these lump heads. Brother Boyan Yasharala and Brother Arrows of Indignation, John 7:24. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. So Israel is scattered into all nations. The Bible says, wisdom is too high for a fool. We are what our Father is. The promises are through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, not the women. So the promises are through the men of the chosen seed, the royal bloodline. Hopefully this lesson has been edifying. All praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, B'Hashem Ruach Kadosh. Double honor and respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Much respect and honor to the brothers that are doing the work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and freedom to do so, pushing this gospel throughout the four corners of the earth. Salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad. And much love to the beloved ladies of the hopeful elect of the house of Israel, of the house of David. Much love to you, beloved ladies. Ladies, not like the 2/3 wildebeest with long blonde hair, wigs, but the beloved ladies of the hopeful elect. So wisdom is too high for a fool. Pam Yasharala, Pam Yasharala, Pam Yasharala, and the Bible. The tabernacle of David is being raised up. 144,000 mighty men. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Kwam Yasharala and the Bible. An exceeding great army worldwide. The beloved hopeful elect of Asia, it's time to rise up. The beloved hopeful elect of Africa, it's time to rise up. The beloved of the hopeful elect of the so-called Middle East, the so-called Arabians, it's time to rise up. The beloved of the hopeful elect of South Africa, South America, Central America, North America, Far East Asia, it's time to rise up. Kwam Yasharala. Shalom. Europe. Let's go. Israelites scattered there. Let's go. Shalom.